Good early evening or afternoon or whatever time zone it might be where you are. I am Andrew Seligsohn, president of Campus Compact, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Campus Compact Impact Awards celebration. We are extremely excited to celebrate the exemplary efforts of extraordinary people. We give awards as an element of advancing our mission by calling attention to extraordinary work and allowing others to see how they can also, as individuals and as institutions, lead change in our campuses, in our communities, for the benefit of our democracy and all of us. So that's our high-minded reason for doing this. It is also just fabulous to celebrate wonderful people doing life-affirming work. And while we'd love to be doing this in person, we're also just thrilled that we get to do this even from afar, connecting virtually. So you should feel free to whoop and holler in your homes or wherever you're joining from. If you know our recipients, feel free to post positive comments in the chat or the social media feeds. If you don't know them, but you're just excited by what they're doing, you can share that. And I think a lot of us over the last months have learned that our collective human capacity for ingenuity and creativity and finding ways to connect is unlimited and extraordinary. And so join with us, have a little fun as we also do this serious work of celebrating extraordinary achievements and people who are blazing paths for all the rest of us. So I'm going to be joined at various points by different colleagues from Campus Compact, and I'll introduce them along the way. And so we will begin with two of our awards that honor terrific faculty members doing great work. And we'll start with the Ernest Lynton Award for the Scholarship of Engagement. I do want to mention for both this award and the one that follows, we are really grateful to the Swearer Center at Brown University, who has been a great partner with us in every aspect of making these awards happen. And it's a lot of work, from putting together the process to executing it. And so we really appreciate everything that they put into this. So the Ernest Lynton Award for the Scholarship of Engagement pays tribute to the memory of Ernest Lynton, who raised the profile and status of faculty professional service both nationally and internationally. Lynton was a Holocaust refugee from Germany who came to the United States as a young man. He studied physics and became a physics faculty member and administrator both at Rutgers University and at UMass Boston. He participated in creating many things, many institutions that persist, including the Coalition for Urban and Metropolitan Universities and its flagship journal, Metropolitan University's Journal. And in all of his work, Lynton sought to ensure that the university was relevant to the social and political questions of the moment. He championed a vision of service that embraced collective responsibility and an understanding of colleges and universities as catalysts, not only in the discovery of new knowledge, but also in its use in addressing social issues. The award honors early career faculty members who, through their teaching, their scholarship, their professional service, and their civic and community engagement, advance the public good through innovative reciprocal partnerships. And here to tell you about the recipient and finalists for this year's award is my colleague, Clayton Hurd, Campus Compact's Director of Professional Learning.
Thank you, Andrew, and good afternoon or evening or morning, wherever it may be you are. It's my pleasure to present the next two Campus Compact Impact Faculty Awards. The recipient of this year's Ernest A. Lynton Award for the Scholarship of Engagement for Early Career Faculty is Cristina Santamaría Graff, Assistant Professor of Urban Teacher Education at IUPUI. Dr. Santamaría Graff has expertise in bilingual multicultural special education and applies her skill in working with Latinx immigrant families of children with disabilities in community-engaged, family-centered projects. Her scholarship focuses on the ways that community-engaged partnerships can transform inequitable practices impacting youth with disabilities at the intersection of race, class, and other markers of difference, identity markers of difference. Her efforts are currently focused on family as faculty approaches in special education programs, which position community stakeholder knowledge and knowledge making as central to the process of transforming systems. This work has contributed deep reciprocal collaborations, not only in her department and university, but among families, practitioners, administrators, and policymakers statewide. Reflecting on her own work in and with communities, Santamaría Graff writes, and I quote, "Rather than entering with ready-made solutions, the work I do is centered in ways to disrupt power hierarchies that in practice do not serve communities, but instead may harm or oppress. The true purpose of community-engaged work is to remember our shared humanity, to be intentional in our words and actions, to embody humility courageously, and to assure equitable processes and outcomes for everyone involved. We are pleased to honor Cristina Santamaría Graff with the Ernest A. Lynton Award for the Scholarship of Engagement for Early Career Faculty. We also wish to honor and acknowledge the wonderful finalists for this year's Lynton Award, which include Anjali Dutt, Assistant Professor of Psychology at the University of Cincinnati, Oscar Gaza, Assistant Professor in Pharmaceutical Care and Health Systems at the University of Minnesota, Colin Rhinesmith, Assistant Professor in the School of Library and Information Science at Simmons University, Vanessa Rosa, Assistant Professor of Spanish, Latino, and Latin American Studies at Mount Holyoke College, and Leah Catherine Sal, Assistant Professor of Teacher Education at Loyola University of Maryland. We applaud all of you for your outstanding work and your commitments to community engaged scholarship.
All right, thank you, Clayton. And the second faculty award that we are presenting this evening is the Thomas Ehrlich Award for Civically Engaged Faculty. Thomas Ehrlich is and has been for a long time an exemplary leader of higher education's efforts to strengthen democracy. In a variety of roles as Dean of the Stanford Law School, Provost at the University of Pennsylvania, and President of the University of Indiana, he contributed to the growth of our movement. He chaired the Campus Compact Board of Directors. Tom has authored important studies on educating students for participation in democracy that I think have been influential for many of us involved in this work. And he remains a great friend of the Compact and still an engaged teacher and researcher at Stanford University. The award named for Tom Ehrlich, the Ehrlich Award for Civically Engaged Faculty, honors senior faculty members who are recognized for their exemplary engaged scholarship, including leadership in advancing students' civic learning, conducting community-based research, fostering reciprocal community partnerships, building institutional commitments to service learning and civic engagement, and through other means of enhancing higher education's contributions to the public good. And once again, I will turn it over to Clayton to tell us about the recipient and finalists.
Hello again. The recipient of this year's Thomas Ehrlich Civically Engaged Faculty Award is Dia Abdo, Associate Professor of English at Guilford College. Dr. Abdo, a first-generation Palestinian who was born and raised in Jordan, has focused her scholarship on Arab and Islamic feminisms with a particular interest in Arab women writers. Dr. Abdo has been a leader in harnessing the power of higher education for the public good. In 2015, she founded the Every Campus a Refuge initiative, which advocates for housing refugee families on campuses, based on the idea that colleges and universities have all the resources necessary, housing, food, care, and skill building, to take in refugees and support them as they begin their lives in their new homes. In the past 4 years, Every Campus a Refuge has expanded to institutions in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Ohio, Florida, and North Carolina, and continues to grow. Due to her work, Guilford College alone has hosted 53 refugees from Syria, Iraq, Sudan, Uganda, and the DRC. Dr. Abdo writes, and I quote, "Particularly in the current political climate, it has been truly gratifying and gives me hope for the future to see Every Campus a Refuge coming to life from a mere idea I had in a moment of deep despair." She continues, quote, "Every Campus a Refuge model is an effective and worthwhile vehicle by which we can make small local dents in a global crisis." We are pleased to honor Professor Dia Abdo with the Thomas Ehrlich Civically Engaged Faculty Award. We also wish to acknowledge and celebrate this year's highly deserving Ehrlich Award finalists, which include Pablo Bose, Associate Professor in the Department of Geography at the University of Vermont, Robin Bakken, Assistant Provost for Civic and Community Engagement at the University of Miami, Suzanne Cashman, Professor of Community Health at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, and Joseph Krupinski, Associate Professor in the Department of Architecture at UMass Amherst. Thank you all for your generous contributions to the field and to our world.
And I brought a hat that I could tip for the occasion to our extraordinary faculty winners. So I hope you were joining us all in whooping and hollering along as we celebrate those folks. It's been extraordinary for me to learn about both of their work. I also had the opportunity to interview Dia Abdo for our podcast, the Compact Nation podcast, and I encourage everybody to go back and listen to that episode if you didn't hear it. The work of Every Campus a Refuge is incredible, and just learning about all of these extraordinary scholars every year is really uplifting. We turn now to a new award. This new award we are very excited about. It is the Nadinne Cruz Award for Community Engagement Professionals. And while we have honored faculty members for quite a long time, we had not had an award honoring community engagement professionals, the people building and leading programs of all different kinds that are community-facing, oriented toward the public good on our campuses. So we were extraordinarily pleased when Nadinne agreed to be honored through the naming of this award, and everything we hoped for was realized in learning about the applicants, the nominees for this first cohort of recipients. As I mentioned, this award is named in honor of Nadinne Cruz, an innovative leader of community-based experiential learning and a pioneer of the movement for the public purposes of higher education. Nadinne Cruz served as director of the Haas Center for Public Service at Stanford University and as executive director of the Higher Education Consortium for Urban Affairs, or HECUA. She is an accomplished teacher, scholar, and program builder. And Nadinne is one of those people in this field, and I think many of you will be familiar with many of them, who fake their own retirement. She remains profoundly influential as a mentor, as a lecturer, as a voice in the ear of many, many people whose work reflects her deep ethical commitment, her profound understanding of the realities of community engagement and all of the ethical complexities embodied therein. So this award celebrates her ethical leadership, her advocacy, and her extraordinary contributions to organizations, to institutions, to individuals, and to our field more broadly. The 2020 recipients have in common that they have demonstrated collaboration with communities focused on transformative change, a commitment to justice-oriented work, and an impact on the larger movement to build ethical and effective community engagement locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And to introduce us to the recipients of the Nadinne Cruz Award is my colleague, our Vice President for Network Leadership at Campus Compact, Marisol Morales.
Thank you, Andrew, and hello, everyone. So excited to be presenting the awards to the following recipients, and so honored that we were able to move forward on this. I will be introducing our award recipients, Debra Gibes, Cristina, and Cynthia Orellana. Debra Gibes is the Faculty Director of Experiential Learning at Mott Community College in Flint, Michigan. She's recognized for her outstanding vision and passion as a community college engagement leader. In her work, she has focused on making equity-focused service learning a key part of the educational experience for students and faculty. She has fostered reciprocal partnerships with local community organizations that led to projects engaging marginalized students, such as developmentally challenged students, economically challenged students, minority students, and immigrant or international students. Within the institution, her work has been instrumental in facilitating interdisciplinary collaboration that crosses social and cultural differences. This has led to greater diversity and participation among faculty, staff, students, creating broader impact for the students and the wider community. Next is Cristina, who's the Associate Vice President for Community Engagement and Anchor Institutions at the University of San Diego, and is recognized for his long-term commitment to advancing higher education's community engagement locally, nationally, and internationally. As a leader of the University of San Diego's anchor mission institution, Chris has helped position the university as a bi-national anchor institution. He has worked diligently to educate campus leaders to align procurement, hiring, and admission practices and other economic impact initiatives in ways that benefit local communities. More broadly, Chris has become widely recognized in the field of community engagement for his ability to forge new and long-term community partnerships in the areas of housing, poverty, economic development, education, social justice, microfinance, and diversity and inclusion. Our final recipient is Cynthia Orellana. Cynthia Orellana is the director of the Office of Community Partnerships at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and she is recognized for her excellence as an emerging community engagement professional who has championed community voices by creating community advisory groups and professional learning opportunities for community practitioners. She has worked on large-scale initiatives with the Mayor's Office and Boston Public Schools to support each institution's strategic process and goals. Cynthia's recent work includes efforts to transform the annual faculty review process at UMass Boston by supporting grassroots strategy to change how community engaged teaching, research, and service are acknowledged at the university. We applaud all of the recipients of the Nadinne Cruz Community Engagement Award for their outstanding work and their commitment to justice-oriented community engagement, and we thank them for their dedication and advocacy to enhancing students' civic and community learning, ethical partnerships with the community, and transformative change. Join me in congratulating our Nadinne Cruz recipients.
All right, and this time around, I raised a glass rather than tipping my cap, but we're keeping the celebration going. I am excited now to move on to 2 awards. I also want to mention the vagaries of being in our different places. Some kind of weather event is happening around us in Boston that I'm being a little distracted by. So I will, unless the windows blow in, I will stay with you here. I'm excited to turn to 2 awards. Again, new awards that we launched this past year, recognizing institutions for institutional transformation. The Richard Grassi and Eduardo J. Padrón Awards recognize respectively 4-year and community colleges that have successfully implemented institution-wide efforts to address issues of public concern by aligning teaching, research, practice, and values in service of the common good. We will discuss the 2020 recipients in a moment, all of which have undertaken comprehensive efforts to advance the values articulated in the Campus Compact 30th Anniversary Action Statement of Presidents and Chancellors. And in fact, several of the institutions are led by people who were actively involved in the process of shaping those commitments. So I'll start with the Richard Grassi Awards. This award is named for Richard Grassi, President Emeritus of Wagner College. During his 5 years as provost and 17 years as president of Wagner, Richard Grassi transformed his institution into an educator of active participants in democracy and a partner in transforming the diverse working class neighborhood of Port Richmond on Staten Island, where Wagner College is located. Richard focused not only on the transformation of his own institution, but also of higher education more broadly. He served as president of the Coalition of Urban and Metropolitan Universities. He chaired the board of the Association of American Colleges and Universities. And most fortunately, from my personal perspective, he served for 4 years as the chair of the board of Campus Compact, during which time I had the opportunity to work very closely with Richard and saw his deep humanity, his real commitment to students and to the people doing work of all kinds on his campus and throughout higher education, and his belief in the possibilities inherent in every human being and the obligation of higher education to find and help bring those possibilities to flourishing. So we are thrilled to have the opportunity to honor Richard through this award. I'm about to identify the winners of the Grassi Award and just say a little bit about them. I want to mention that each of the winners of both the Grassi Award and the Padrón Award also submitted videos, and we will be showing those short videos documenting their community and civic engagement work during the breaks between sessions throughout the conference. So the first recipient of the Gracia Award is Augsburg College, where Paul Pribino serves as president. And Augsburg is, okay, so we may have these slides in a different order. So we'll work our way to aligning what we're saying with what you're seeing. So we apologize for that. Augsburg University is recognized for its commitment to serving as an anchor institution in the Twin Cities, mobilizing institutional resources to benefit local neighborhoods and helping to drive inclusive economic growth in the region. Through mutual grassroots partnerships, including with the neighboring Cedar Riverside community, Augsburg University has built trust as an active member of that community. Through their new strategic plan, Augsburg 150, Augsburg University has further committed to economic sustainability, interfaith leadership, and equity and racial justice. Our next recipient is Bard College. There we go. Bard College is recognized, and I should mention Leon Botstein serves as president at Bard. Bard College is recognized for its commitment to extending opportunities for liberal arts education to communities historically excluded from opportunity. A cornerstone of this work is the Bard Early Colleges High School program, which provides access to credit-bearing, tuition-free college courses in the liberal arts for high schoolers from Manhattan, Queens, Newark, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Students who participate in the program are taught by college faculty in undergraduate seminars and receive college credits up to an Associates of Arts degree. Other programs offered by Bard College, such as the Bard Prison Initiative, further demonstrate their commitment to access to education for marginalized groups. Our third recipient is Metropolitan State University of Denver, where Janine Davidson serves as president. Metro State is recognized for its comprehensive institution-wide approach to planning for institutional change, which has included a civic action plan, emerging assessment, connected efforts across departments, and clarity around institutional goals. As an urban land-grant institution, MSU Denver has committed to being an institution of the city, an integral, visible part of the communities within which it exists. MSU Denver demonstrates a clear and active commitment to strengthening its understanding of urban issues and to partnering with and serving its neighbor organizations in order to better meet the needs of the metropolitan area. And the final institution recognized through the Gracia Award is Seattle University, located in the city where we all would have gathered under other circumstances. Stephen V. Sunborg serves as president. Seattle University is recognized for its deep place-based commitment to the neighborhoods adjacent to the campus. A highlight of this work is the Seattle University Youth Initiative, a partnership with community-based organizations, local government, and K-12 schools to create a cradle-to-career pathway of support for 1,000 children and their families in a 2-square-mile neighborhood next to the campus. The program has built trust between Seattle University faculty, staff, and students, and community partners, has helped increase academic achievement among local elementary school students, and contributed to the overall health of the community while providing excellent learning experiences for Seattle University students. So join me in recognizing all of the Gracia Award winners. And we now turn to the recipients of the Eduardo J. Padrón Award for Institutional Transformation. Again, this for community colleges. This award recognizes Eduardo Padrón, or it is named in his honor, who is President Emeritus of Miami-Dade College. Eduardo Padrón immigrated from Cuba as a boy and entered school in Miami with no English language skills. After graduating high school, he enrolled at Miami-Dade College and went on to earn a doctoral degree in economics from the University of Florida. He returned to Miami-Dade as a faculty member and eventually made his way to the presidency, a position in which he served for 24 years. During that time, he transformed Miami-Dade College into one of the largest institutions of higher education in the United States, recognized as an engine of opportunity and participation for the diverse communities of Miami. He also built a deep commitment to civic engagement and democratic participation into the fabric of the college. And for all of you familiar with Miami-Dade, you know that persists as we speak. Eduardo Padrón served on Campus Compact's board of directors, and in 2016, President Obama presented Eduardo Padrón with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And I have to say, given that history, it was very significant to us that Dr. Padrón responded with great joy to the idea of being honored through this award. We may not measure quite up to President Obama and the Medal of Freedom, but we were glad that he was pleased to be honored in this way. So we have 2 institutions to honor with the first Eduardo Padrón Awards. The first is Raritan Valley Community College in New Jersey, where Michael McDonough serves as president. Raritan Valley Community College is recognized for its longstanding commitment to providing every Raritan student with civic and community-based learning experiences. Service learning opportunities are deeply embedded in student life and in the curriculum, with service learning courses offered in every academic department. Not only has this enhanced learning and provided professional development opportunities for students, but it has also been integral to addressing the major challenges facing communities in the region. And our second recipient, again from the city where we would have gathered, is Seattle Central College, where Sheila Edwards Lang serves as president. Seattle Central College is recognized for its high level of commitment to social and economic inclusion. This is evidenced by the establishment of an Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, by the ongoing work toward a diversity action plan, and by their commitment to access to education, providing flexible pathways for students from all situations and backgrounds to be prepared for careers and for lives as active and engaged citizens. The result of this work has been the establishment of a wide variety of programs in partnership with local schools and community-based organizations, including the Seattle Promise Program and the Academy for Rising Educators. These programs have already demonstrated a measurable impact on Seattle Central colleges and the local community. Please join me in recognizing these recipients of the Eduardo Padrón Award for Institutional Transformation. Those are the recipients of this year's awards. We are excited to let you know that the next round, it all begins again. We open applications for the next year's worth of Impact Awards on May 15. So you should head to our website, compact.org, to learn more about that. And it's really, again, an opportunity to invite you to think about your own work, those of your colleagues, people who have taught you, people alongside whom you have worked, institutions you know of that are leading the charge to build stronger, more connected institutions in service of the public good. So think about who those people are. Imagine getting a nomination together, and I hope that we will be learning about folks whose work is exemplary and the kind of work that can inspire and motivate all of us. So that concludes our awards ceremony and our celebration. I want to mention that we will be back tomorrow, starting up a full day of conference activities at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 on the Pacific Coast. We have some great sessions tomorrow, and I'm really excited to bring a whole day's worth of work, celebrating not only work that is going on through Campus Compact, but also through many of our member institutions over the next couple of days. So again, we'll be back with you tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on the same streaming platforms. Thank you for being with us. Congratulations to all the individuals and the institutions honored today. And again, you'll learn more about the work of those institutions through videos throughout the conference. So have a good evening and see you tomorrow.